From 1971 until 1999, Ghana was subject to high inflation, and a shortage of construction workers was becoming more and more apparent. There also was a continuing shortage of drinking water in Ghana during this period. My research focuses on the effects and potential solutions that construction companies can implement to minimize the effects of inflation and weather on budget overruns and project delays during groundwater construction projects. It utilized a system dynamics model to find leverage points where constructors can improve their management. It was analyzed how large the impact of both rain and inflation would be. The research found that in 1971, a construction project that was planned to take 6 months would only be completed after 11.5 months. By that time, the project would have also exceeded its budget by 23%. So yes, people would be waiting for water at a high cost. But what is the effect of time on the project delays and budget overruns? The time changes three things in this case. It changes the weather, the monthly inflation rate, and the hiring delay for new construction workers. This is also visible in the results of the 4 runs, all of which started at a different time throughout the sample. The variances in outcome can all be attributed to different combinations of the inflation rate, weather, and hiring delay. The interaction between the cost structure of the model and the human resource management of construction firms also played an important role. What is more important is what construction companies can do about these large delays and budget overruns. How can a construction company contribute to providing the Ghanaian population with fast and cheap access to drinking water? A few suggested policies are adding a buffer to the budget, keeping track of inflation during the planning phase, and shorter projects in the dry season. When testing the effects of implementing these scenarios, I found that especially shorter projects with more manpower were very effective. This was the case because the projects were less vulnerable to inflation and weather. The buffer and inflation estimation yielded the same effect. As such, for the final policy mix, I implemented just a buffer and shorter projects. On this slide, you will be able to see the results of the various simulation runs. It is important to note that some Ghanaian water construction firms are not large enough to decrease the length of the project deadlines. This might be one of the issues with implementing the proposed policies in Ghana.